3.
I feel so official now that we have that thing.
Right?
We should put stuff on it.
Oh yeah, so people can catch it at the beginning every time. That'd be cool. Failure. Fail. No, I'm just kidding. We got the OG crew up in here today.
Yep.
Well, you're right.
It's just us again.
Yep.
All right, on 3, guys.
1, 2, 3.
Hi.
What's
Apparently,
up, guys?
I don't say shit.
Welcome to another episode of Be Uplifted.
What she said. Okay, so since we were chilling here, the OG crew, we were like talking about stuff and how, you know, we've had a lot of guests, we do a lot of things surrounding a lot of people, and that led us into talking about our topic, which is the company that we keep.
Yes.
Right.
So what do you guys think is the significance or impact on the company that you guys keep?
I just avoid people that it would essentially just be dead weight. You know, that just they don't bring any type of value to my life. And you know, when you're growing up, you're kind of like, stick with the crew, blah blah blah. Be very loyal to your friends until eventually you're like, oh, my friends are kind of like keeping me down.
And it's not just friends too; it's family also.
Yeah.
Dead weight, just whatever that is. Yeah.
No, you saying that is funny though, because I feel like this year, and it started a little bit last year, but this year for sure, I was just like, it's shown a lot with me having the baby also. Like who's really there for you,
right?
And especially who supports me with this podcast and my life decisions and all of that. So I feel like for sure that, and then just like, why would you want to keep them around if they're not part of your campfire? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And they say that, like, I don't know the exact number, so you can't quote me on the like exact statistic, but I know that there's a statistic that I heard that you acquire like so much % of the people that you become, that they become part of you, you know? And so obviously if you're kicking it with a bunch of negative people or do nothing or fucking losers or whatever, that's literally essentially what you're going to become, like figuratively and literally, you know?
Yeah.
My mom used to say this thing, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You know, and
I
it's
like
like,
that.
and for a long this time, I was like, no, whatever.
Right.
Then you're like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, my mom was kind of right. When you're starting to do things that are like out of your nature, and you're like, why am I doing this? Because it's because of the group or the circle that you've surrounded yourself with.
And what do you guys think? For me, as you get older, you kind of start to differentiate the real friends from the party friends, from the business associates. You know, you're like, oh, not everyone is your actual friend. Like you have like your circle of actual friends, and then there's the people that you only go to like events and parties with and things like that.
Certain circles for things. Yeah,
exactly.
No, I completely agree.
I was going to ask something actually about that was, sometimes girls have girls' night out, but they won't bring like certain people. Like, do you get offended by that? Like, if you find out that we all went to, like, Pacers, but then we didn't even tell you? Like, does that bother you, or?
I mean, it would bother me.
Yeah.
I think because in this situation, this is our thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, like, let's say it was something else. What if me, Lonnie, and Rich went to go watch, like, a DJ thing, And it's like, it's because you don't DJ, so... And it's one of those, like, it's not where it's a DJ battle. It's like, Pioneers is hosting an event where they're going to talk about this new equipment. And it's like,
Yeah, I don't think that would bother me, because it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's not part of what this is. That's like a different category.
But you would like to have it mentioned to you.
Yeah, that's true.
if we totally didn't say anything, that'd be like, the fuck?
But see, there's where I'm different, because there's no reason for you to go. So I wouldn't even.
I get that. I get both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's just you have to have the courtesy, though. I mean, it's just a courtesy. I mean, if there's a group of you guys and there's 5 of you, sometimes people just want to hang out because they just want to hang out with a group. They might not necessarily like where you're going, but they're like the people they're going with.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's true, and I do see it from that angle. I also don't care if I offend somebody when I don't invite them. For example, if I want to go see a movie and my friend wants to go see a movie and they find out that I went to go watch it by myself, and it's like, oh, I thought we could have watched it together. It's like, no, I just don't want to hear you asking me who's that purple Hulk. It's like, no, that's Thanos.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel like I for sure would sometimes even get FOMO, you know, like, damn, like, I wish I could hang out or whatever, you know? But then there's also like, depending on my emotion and how I feel that day,
That part.
you know,
As a
like,
female, that part.
like, it would be like, okay, well, is it because like I did something? Like I would kind of have like a self-doubt, like what the fuck happened? Especially when I've had this instance where I've had a friend hung out with somebody else that I introduced them to, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like what? Like how come I couldn't hang out when I'm the one who introduced y'all?
Yeah.
You know, like so I would get that point and I'd be like, how come you didn't text me? Be
Made
like,
you feel some type of way.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, how do you make somebody feel included then if you don't want them to go? You know, because like, what if I am
you
gonna
just
go
don't,
watch?
though, you know, like
Yeah,
you
you-
just- yeah.
So there's that whole problem is like now they have that FOMO and shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's kind of why I'm also talking about this because of the groups of friends and stuff. Because some groups of friends are good at one thing or they enjoy something, versus another group of friends where it's like, oh, they're more scholastic or something like
Yeah.
that, and I only have them around because like I study with them or whatever.
I feel like also it just depends on, like, just to kind of touch on that, it's like, let's say if it's us four,
Yeah.
right? And let's say it's like somebody who's not a part of our circle, then they'd be like, okay, well, know your place, that this is like this circle that I do this with, and what I do with you is from a different, you know what I don't know.
I agree with that. Like, know your place within the circle.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, because I feel bad. There's been somebody that's been like, "Oh, thanks for the invite," and then I'll be like, "What invite? I didn't ask you."
Yeah. It's like that was for because
Yeah, that was on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like they would only feel like that if you invited like the people you typically hang out with in that circle. Then they'd be like, well, what the fuck? Then there for sure is some type of animosity or
Something.
there's something drama happening
Right.
with that person.
Yeah, that's where your mind would go at least for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I remember there's somebody that I dated before and their group of friends were just like, I couldn't stand that group of friends because of like how they act and the way that they made my significant other at the time feel, because they're not into like the same things that they were into, and he had to play this persona of like a certain person when
He was
really
around then.
yes. And I'm like, why would you do that? You know,
Yeah.
like if they make you feel a type of way because, or you have to be a certain person to
Be
hang
friends
out
with
with
them.
them, like then why hang out with them? And then his defense was like, oh, well, because I feel like without them I wouldn't have friends.
Dang. You're so desperate to have friends that you're willing to change who you are to have
Yes.
them. And that happens a lot. And
Yeah.
it's really sad. And I feel like especially when you're younger and you're not as secure as you are in yourself as when you get older, you
That
find
part.
yourself just kind of doing what will get you in the group. You know? It's sad.
Yeah,
I
for
had
sure.
a question and then it did that again.
Even okay, so I don't know if you guys have felt like this, but I've felt like this too, where just because we've been friends for so long, like the history, and they keep doing something that's like fucked up or whatever, like I feel like I should still have to keep them because they've been there for so long.
Yeah, you have that like that loyalty that you feel like you have to give because you've been friends with them for so long.
Yeah, no, I felt like that before, but now I'm like, no, fuck that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then you start. You don't have time for that shit
It's
no
the
more.
age thing. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, there's good examples I could give for that, and yeah, it's just
We're
good
just
that-
not trying to offend anyone.
No, because okay, who have I known longer, you or your dad?
My dad.
Who like I cut him out. I didn't
Yeah.
give a fuck. Yeah, because if somebody's wrong,
They're wrong.
they're wrong. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good example, but yes.
So how about more on the business side? So we're kind of talking about friendship and things like that. On the business side, how important do you think it is about the company that you keep?
On the business side,
Yeah, like for example, maybe like being an accountant, it doesn't really matter who you kick it with, but if you're a creator, it kind of matters a little bit because you need to
Yeah,
have
that's what-
people that support you within that, that kind of takes like a community to do. Not always, but what do you feel about that? Like, how does your company that you keep affect those things in like work wise?
Definitely. I mean, let's be real. Some people, you like, especially in this type of field or whatever, is that some people stick with those people because the shit that they provide to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they could
For
say,
clout or for whatever, this and that.
Or like for example, like for this, right? Well, if like we keep Rich because he does editing, but it's also because you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like something like that. But obviously, like I love you, Kuya, but it's just like we keep that relationship because like, oh, you can do this and this and this, but really,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't really like put into words, but you just I feel like you have to have that conversation where it's like, this is where we stand and whatever, and this is what we're gonna bring to the table to help each other out. But besides that, sometimes like that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think it's a little different nowadays. I mean, if you look at it from a content creator point of view, you always have to kind of look beyond what they're doing on the creative side and look more and then really delve into who they are as a person, because there's a lot of things that my friends do that I 100% don't agree with. There's a lot of things that they will do, whether it's chasing it's clout chasing or just to kind of get like you post things just to get a pat on the back.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I kind of look beyond that because for me, that's just the process that they're doing for their own brand.
Like you understand why they're doing it.
I might not agree with it, but I understand why it's being done.
Right.
So it's nowadays, if you really want to search for anything negative, you can, because there's the internet.
Right.
Right. You can have like 50 good comments, but you're always gonna find that one negative.
Oh yeah,
one.
for sure.
But yeah, it's like I think at some point there's always like the people that will kind of like boost you up, and you'll surround yourself with them, but you not necessarily have to surround yourself with them all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be able to stand without them, really, in this kind of
I kind of know, like, oh, I can get something from this event, so I'll kind of hang out there.
Right.
It might be a little selfish, but for
networking.
me, yeah,
like essentially that's what that is.
For me, it's like, okay, I can hang out here, and I can tolerate these group because, for the business.
Right. Oh yeah, that makes sense, for sure. How about you?
Well, actually, I want to hear yours first.
Didn't I say already?
No.
What was the question again? Just kidding.
As content creators, like, how do you pick and choose like who you're around, or do you have to drop people just because?
I think it's really about how I feel. Like, there's also the logical part, right? Like, okay, I have to, this person, like what Lani says, this person will help me with editing. This person, Vince has a studio. Like, all of that obviously matters and makes sense, and it makes a big impact. But also, like, I wouldn't do this with Rich and I wouldn't do this with Vince if you guys like were shitty people and I didn't enjoy it, so that's a big part of the company that I keep. Is when you say adding value, to me, value can be many different things, right? Whether it's like internally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Like, if you do add any kind of value, then you're definitely within my circle. That's kind of how me personally. How about you?
For me, it's more like everybody's in the circle, but then like I have different compartments because like there's gonna be some times that I'm not gonna ask you guys, but I'll ask Rich why I'm not like my stream is fucked up, or I might ask you guys something that I'm not gonna ask Rich because it's like, oh, I think my daughter needs to talk to somebody about a breakup or whatever, and I can't empathize with it.
Right.
Everybody definitely brings different things to the table.
Yeah.
No matter being in like the whole content, at least elaboration of it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely important to stick around people, and I always say that it's like stick around people who can be around the campfire that can keep adding wood to what your bigger picture is. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it's also important because when you have people that are like-minded, it helps them understand and empathize better. For example, like I see a lot of people that treat waitress is shitty, right? And then they become a waiter or waitress and they're like, fuck, like I totally changed after that because I realized how hard their job really was, you know? So I think that's why a lot of us content creators kind of hang out together or like, you know, genuinely enjoy being around each other is because we understand the passion and the work and the time that goes into creating something out of nothing, you
But
know?
you would also have to have your friends be like, you know, have your groups like multifaceted, you know.
Right, of course.
So like I have friends that follow me on streaming stuff. So, you know, I shout them, but I'm not going to ask them particular things. I have friends that like, you know, you have moderators where it's like I mean, like they're both unpaying roles, you know, a viewer and a moderator.
You compartmentalize.
Yeah,
whatever.
but you kind of know when, okay, well, this guy is just a chauvinistic pig, so I should have this person, you know, take care of them. So, you know, the roles are they're all people to me, you know,
Right.
but they're going to have different roles. So just because one person isn't fitting in with one or with one thing that's going on, I can't think of an example, but that doesn't mean that they have to be included with everything else, or
I get
they
that.
have to be discluded. You know?
Or just limit your time with that particular person or that particular group.
Yeah,
Right,
you know.
right.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, so what advice would you guys say, or what would you do in this situation where you guys are all in the same circle, right? But there's like these one or two people that you feel like they're not adding to what you guys are doing in that circle. How would you break it to them? Like, hey, like either you guys want them out or like you need to do more, or like how would you guys approach it?
Kind of convenient because you got pregnant, so we didn't have to have that conversation.
I mean,
This guy.
It would only matter if you guys were actually a company, right? Not a group. If this was like if there was four of us and let's say we had like a camera person, lighting guy, whatever, and then the guy in the back that's handling catering isn't pulling his weight, he's got to go. But if it's just us friends and then he happens to have his channel, I'm like, what are you gonna do? That's his deal. You know what I mean?
So you're saying if it doesn't affect what you're doing as a whole, then it really doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys were putting together like a collab, and he's not pulling his weight, you got to go, hey man, we need this done. You got to pull you got to
in
pull
or
your
you
weight,
out?
or are you in, you're out. But if you guys are just friends and that guy just happens to be just a like lazy piece of shit that hasn't done shit at all, I mean, he doesn't stop me from doing anything.
That's true.
Yeah, because like we can all go out as a group, to like a club, and then maybe I don't dance, but I'm still. I could be your DD. I could still, I could still have a conversation.
Yeah,
That's true.
Like
But
even within the San Diego YouTubers group, right?
Yeah,
Jesse's always there.
yeah,
And Jesse's always down to help, but Jesse hasn't created content ever.
yeah.
Zero. He hasn't uploaded anything.
But he's always down to help.
But he's just around. Like he doesn't stop me from creating content.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like his inability to upload a video hasn't stopped me from uploading a video.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
you just kind of go, okay, well he's the guy that hasn't uploaded a video.
Yeah, that's kind of even in the workplace too, right? Because I remember there'd be like people bitching about so and so coworker, and I'm like, well, is it fucking ruining your job?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, no, it's just annoying. I'm like, well, then don't fucking sweat it because it's not stopping you from doing. So it's the same thing. Yeah, I agree with that. What about what they say when it's like, if you want to become a millionaire, you need to kick it with millionaires. Like, if you want to level up, then you need to fucking level up by hanging out with level uppers. You
If
know?
you want to be a millionaire, hang out with billionaires.
Yeah. Well, same. Yeah. Essentially.
I agree with that because then it'll teach you, and just being around it will inspire you. But I feel like if you're just saying about it and not being about it, then don't waste their time.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, what does your friends have to do with that? Like, at any conference, I call the first row the $1 million row because that's you sit there, you're actually paying attention, you're
Right.
writing notes.
Right.
That you sitting there, your friends are not going to prevent you from sitting there. You're going to sit there because you want to sit there. If you surround yourself with millionaires, well, there's not that many millionaires in this world, right? So you're just going to hang out with one or two. That never changes the friend dynamic. And obviously, if you start getting with these individuals and then you're starting to create your own plan, well, hopefully you're also obviously cognizant of the fact that you should maybe, hey, pass this down to your friends and bring them up with you.
Those are the nice ones. But then there's also those people that are like, oh, remember where you came from, and like bring you down also. Like there's those two
Like they want to
to
see you succeed, but they don't want you to succeed above them.
Yes.
You know, like they still want to pull you down a little bit.
Okay, but what all they're gonna do is what exactly are they gonna do? Like what exactly can they do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hack my bank account? Like
Right.
like sabotage? And at that point, you cut ties. But it's like people again. You're so concentrated on those people around you that might bring you down, you forget that you have your own path too.
And that there are people that are rooting for you
Yes.
because you're so focused. Because I've been like guilty of that too, where you're like, man, these people like they don't, and then you're like, wait a minute, but there's all these people that do,
Yeah.
you know.
And I
so-
keep those fuckers closer to me too, because I want to see the look in their face when I surpass them.
right.
You know
that
what
sweet,
I mean?
sweet revenge.
Yeah, like that silent revenge. Like, okay.
Those are the best.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the best.
I think I had pushback on this because, like, when I first heard you say, what was the exact quote? Like, if you want to be a millionaire.
You have to kick it with millionaires or whatnot.
I think the pushback that I had with that was the fact that you have to. Whereas, like, why? Because you could do it on your own.
True.
You know, because there's like, don't get me wrong, it's good to choose the right company, but at the same time, just because you're not around that particular company that you want to be around, doesn't mean that you should give up.
I
Right.
think
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think it stems kind of more like a metaphor too for people that like if you kick with a bunch of people that just drink and party every weekend, then you're probably drinking and partying every weekend too. You know,
Yeah.
so it's more so like along that lines, and I see it from that side too, where it's like,
It's
yeah,
true,
it
I
doesn't
do
really
have-
matter. Nobody can really stop you if you're really determined for your dream, but it does make a difference sometimes. You know,
Yeah, it's the resource. It's the whole networking
Yeah.
thing. It's just, I feel like it inspires you to want to do more.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I hung out with a millionaire, he's already a millionaire. He can teach me something so I don't have to go through another 10 years of trying to figure
That
out how
part
to be
too.
how to be him. You know, I mean,
You
there's
can get his
The
wisdom.
fast track.
Yeah.
yeah, there's tax write-offs or whatever, you know, hiring the right.
Well, I mean, you're a perfect
accountant.
example of that, right? Because
Yeah.
like we only know what we know about YouTube and like the analytics and stuff
That
because
part.
you've taught us about it. Otherwise, we would just be blindly like, let's record videos. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what we were doing for the longest time. So it's like one of those things where it's like you have that expertise so that you can become. See,
You're a
now I'm getting
mentor.
self-conscious about using my hands. I'm like, Vince was saying that annoys
What's up,
him. I'm
guys?
like, oh my god.
Welcome back to Be Uplifted channel.
I use my hands a lot.
Make sure that you're
You're not
clicking
the
the
only
links
one. It's
below.
okay.
Sorry.
I'm here with Ari.
But going
I'm
back
just
to
gonna hold
R-
this. I'm just gonna like grip this
E-
aside as I can.
Actually, if you go to a Toastmasters course, they actually teach you to use your hands because people pay more attention.
Oh.
It breaks your.
See
No,
what I
it's
mean?
the
I'm just
it's the repetition of all of the typical ones that
Okay.
that bothers me. It's cool when there's like,
Comment down
Others.
below, hit the like button somewhere over here,
yep,
like that.
yep, smash that like button. It's like, what the fuck? I'm a grown ass man. I'm gonna use one finger and click that shit if I feel like it. Tell me
Anyway.
what to do.
or like, what
You know how
about
much
the
my mouse cost me?
what about the opposite, where they say like, if you hang out with a bunch of fucking weed smoking, drinking, party popping, blah blah blah, then you're just gonna be that too? Or do you think you can still have those friends and be successful?
You can't hang out with them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
come
been
on.
wanting to talk about this because, like, so a lot of people know that I have the studio. I have a 9 to 5, and I also go to the gym a lot. And it's like, how do you do that? I was like, I wish I was as disciplined as you. No, everybody's fucking disciplined. You're just more disciplined to sleep past your alarm clock, or you're more disciplined to not go to bed on time, or you're more disciplined to buy like fucking KFC instead of a gym membership. And you know, that's just analyze yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, did that didn't even actually relate. I'm sorry about
It didn't, but it's
But
okay.
that's a good message.
That's how I was like this.
no,
on a sidebar,
no. Wait, what was
speaking of friends that don't bring no,
what was the original question? Because it triggered me, and I was like, wait.
Wait, now I lost it.
I lost
no,
it.
you might.
Oh my bad. It's spinning on me.
It's the friends you surround yourself with. You
Oh,
went,
yeah,
you
yeah.
went
Well,
on-
like, can you have like loser friends and still not be a loser? And he said, don't spend so much time with them.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, the fact is that like I spent a lot of time in nightclubs.
I thought it was gonna be like I spend a lot of time with you guys,
No,
so I
okay.
think it's possible.
So I spent a lot of time at nightclubs before.
Right.
And there's always people drinking and doing drugs and like cheating on their, significant others. So on and so forth,
Hella random.
right? So
Cheating.
no, it happens a lot.
Right.
I
That's
know
what-
shit.
Yeah, because I'll be taking pictures in the club. Oh, don't post that. I'm like, what the fuck did you pose over the picture for then? stupid
Right.
ass? Yeah, but anyways, but you can still do that. Like, you can still go out and party with your friends that party without partying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think
But
that's
they're not
what
gonna
I was
want to
talking
invite you
about.
after a while.
Why? Because I'll be the DD, and I'm still okay. I'm not any less fun because I'm not drinking.
You probably
mean-
be really
Yeah.
fun if you drank though.
There's a good chance, but then
Dude, all I can think about is your dance moves. I can just think how much more intense it would be. It would
it'll be the
fun.
same, but it'll probably be on a stage.
Yes. See,
Your body rolls. Would
we
probably
want
be
that. So drink.
It would be more slinky.
Yeah.
More slinky. I'm just
Why
picturing.
is that? Why I don't get invited out because I don't drink?
No.
No.
Wait, we don't. When did we
When
go,
we go
out?
out?
I'm like, she's like, I'm the one that never gets to come with you guys.
I know. You know how many times I wanted to go to fucking Pacers?
Well, it's okay. You have no. You have
Well, we're ending
no
early tonight. You want to go?
We're there every Tuesday also.
Yeah.
Is it Tuesday? Oh no,
No,
it's
we're there.
Wednesday. I'm like, wait a minute, what day is it?
Okay.
All right, reeling it in, guys. Okay, so the company we keep.
I don't even think
Right.
I'm on the same podcast.
Yeah.
Like,
I think a lot of that, like the company you keep, like really like relates to as you're going through adolescence and then into adulthood and then finding your finding
Absolutely.
your place in I guess in this world that we live in. And I think sometimes it just naturally has to happen. Like I don't hang out with a lot of the guys I hung out with in high
Yeah,
school.
for sure.
yeah.
You know, it just because you naturally move on
Right.
separate ways.
That's actually reminds me of this article that I read that was talking about how people break up, right? We talk about breakups in relationships all the time. You hear about broken heart because it didn't work out with this guy, this didn't work out with this girl, but it's not talked about the way that friendships kind of end. Very sadly. Like some of them are kind of they just drift naturally, and then other ones end like abruptly, like an actual breakup. And that's not talked about a lot either. What do you guys think about that? Like, do you think that like the emotional part of it is almost like being in a relationship, like losing that type of person in your life, a friend?
No,
No,
it's totally different.
you think it's different?
It's totally different. It just because there's a lot of like, I don't know. I just don't get attached to my friend like I get attached to somebody I'm dating.
Probably because there's passion involved and like deep love involved.
Right.
That's only happened to me once where they broke up with me, but it's because she was actually into me.
Oh,
That
interesting.
was it was awkward as shit. She's like, I'm like, why are you talking to me like you're wanting to date me? She goes, I've had a crush on you forever. I'm like,
Oh, whoa, intense. You're like, oh, my friend was in love with me this whole time we were friends.
yeah,
That's crazy.
and it happened to me like back in like middle school. It was crazy.
Middle school.
Yes.
Man.
She's like, how come you don't want to come over my house every weekend? I'm like, because I gotta work. Like I'm doing
In middle
gigs.
school.
Like, cause I was helping my family DJ
Oh,
and like
okay.
doing events.
He's like, what?
What?
Yeah,
Like middle school? Yeah. Where were you
What
working
you
in middle
mean?
school?
I've been doing this since I came out. You know?
Right?
But no, like she's like, yeah, you don't want to hang out with me anymore. Or, like, you don't want to like go sit with me at lunch. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I got other friends too.
But do people actually like break up, like friendships break up like that?
Yeah, I had a couple. Like, there was one that like really devastated me. Because when I dated my sociopath ex, like he had done something really shady to them, and I was like guilty by association. And these were people that were like my family when I was going through like some hard shit, and they never spoke to me again after that. And I did not get over that fucking. In hindsight, it's like, well, you're a piece of shit for fucking ditching me like that, Like Ackroyd actually had to because he saw me cry about it for like a few years. Like I would think about them and I would just immediately start crying, and he was just like, dude. you know, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but now that, like, you know, as years pass by, he was like, it's their loss. Like, if they were able to just drop you like that, then they weren't really good friends to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, that's actually a good point.
Now
Fuck
that,
them, you know? Like,
now that you put that in perspective, like I've had that actually like recently. Like I've had I consider her like a family basically. And her and I were super close. We did everything together or whatever. And then when I started even doing this podcast and I asked her to like be a guest and stuff like that, without even like, I asked her to be on, you know what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
I know who you're talking about.
I don't care. She can fucking, hello. But
Whatever she feels on her side, okay?
but like I asked her to be on, and then without even like giving me time, or she's like, I'm not gonna be there tomorrow. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you didn't even explain, like I couldn't even explain to you like what the plan was,
plans, yeah.
or like anything like that. You just dropped me. And then I didn't talk to her for a while. And it wasn't until like recently some things happened and she was just like, hey, you know, I want to like be in your life again, meet your daughter, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, we're like, what makes you think you can just fucking just come back in my life like that? You know
Right,
what I'm
like
saying?
like it's on your terms kind of a thing.
And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I'm sorry that, you know, I didn't like give you a chance, to like I underestimated what the podcast really is and this and that. I'm like,
Oh,
well,
so
then
she
you're,
admitted that.
yeah. I'm like, so you're
okay.
underestimating me. Like
Right.
that means you're underestimating me and my team. Like, how could you just jump abruptly like that, you know? So that, I feel like that was like a breakup in a way, because it's like you're disrespecting not only me but you, like my podcast family.
Well, and your dreams and
yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, that's not
That's-
cool.
That's interesting because I remember you said, who are you to cut me out and then expect to just come back in? But I've done that with Bayan. I didn't cut her out. We just stopped talking for a while. And then we started talking and we just picked up where we left off.
But there was no bad blood.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Okay.
difference, right? Because
Yeah.
there was something that was done and never resolved. So.
Yeah,
Right.
because there was one time that I was talking to her and then she told me, she was like, oh, honestly, I'm not good right now. And I said, well, tell me. And then she, you know, we talked. And I said, look, B, I'll be honest with you. I don't check up on you all the time because I know that you're good.
Yeah.
You know, I have faith in you. I believe in you. And I know you don't need me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't call you all the time.
Yeah. So
But I
that's
still,
different.
like,
There's
you
good
know.
intentions
Yeah.
behind that.
Okay.
When that person hit me up, I even had to ask somebody who's in our circle, like, hey, like, what do you think about this? Because I just want to make sure like I'm reading this correctly and I'm not like trying to come at that person sideways. So yeah, we're going off topic, but it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut ties with you because
I think that goes back to what I was saying at the very beginning of this, right? Like, yes, there's like the very obvious things, right? Like what value do they bring, blah, blah, blah. But like, if she just makes you feel icky, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds like such a like a elementary word, but literally, like, if this person just brings down your energy or just like sucks from your fucking joy, then yeah, that alone is enough of a reason to be like deuces. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
right. And I hated, and when I started like messaging back, I'm like, wait, why am I even bringing up like, well, I was there for you, this and this and this? Like, no, like you should
don't
have
need to do
known.
that,
Like,
yeah.
respectfully, like you should know.
right,
But best wishes.
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it's fun keeping them around because it keeps you sharp.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
When they keep you on your toes because you're so fucking annoyed all the time
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
have
yo-
time for that stress.
Like when they like people have asked me, oh, you still have a studio? How's that going? I'm like, it's cool. I'd rather be there.
That's what pushes me low key on the like our podcast, you know, because I want so badly for the people that are watching, like, oh my God, they fucking started this like podcast, like whatever the fuck, everybody has a podcast. I'm waiting for it to be like 3 years and 4 years and then be like, oh damn, they're still at it, you know, like, yeah, we're here to stay, motherfucker, you know, like,
Yep.
so I totally get that, Vince.
I just don't give those people the time of day. Like I don't.
Well, it's
I
more
don't-
like a silent revenge, like what you said, you know, like,
it's not even that. It's like sometimes like somebody goes, "Oh, so you're still doing the whole podcast thing?" I'm like, and then a lot of times people will look at it like an insult. But I'm like, bro, do you have one? Like people are like, oh, you still doing the YouTube
And
thing?
that's a good way
And
to
I'm
put
like,
it,
do
because
you
I'm
s-
definitely more like him, you know. And so, like, to put it in that way, I'm like, okay.
I'm like,
should
you know,
look at it
people
that
people
way.
always like, oh, you still doing the YouTube thing? And I'm like, yeah. And in my head, I'm like, well, you don't have one,
Yeah.
See,
nor do you have the skill to actually do one. So like, what you say doesn't matter. Like,
I'm
okay.
glad that you say that, right? Because you know, my makeup
More
thing.
level-headed person.
Yeah, you're more level-headed. It almost like pushes me to have like almost like that cockiness, but like confidence, not
Wake
really
up
cocky.
every day, choose violence.
Right? No,
Every day.
because that's one of the things that when people are like, "Oh, how's that makeup lifted thing? How's your makeup channel going?" I feel almost like the imposter syndrome thing again, right? Like where I'm like, well, I guess it's not really going well because I've had the same amount of followers for like 6 months now, and then I feel like, oh man, why am I doing this? But you're right, like it should just be like, yeah,
But they-
what the fuck are you doing?
No, but the thing is like, okay, you know the people that ask you that, your circle,
Mm-hmm.
they don't care.
Right.
That's just an icebreaker.
Right.
Right. Because once you start talking, like if somebody asks me, how's your YouTube channel going? Oh man, you know, the analytic, like
Yeah.
the minute I say that, they're not going to know anyway.
Right, they're just checked out already
Yeah,
anyways. Right.
I mean, it's a waste of time. Like you're going to tell them your followers and how you're trying to get them. They're not going to know.
yeah.
Because I've always said friends and family are never my audience.
Right.
So it's just an icebreaker, just to start the conversation. So you sometimes you look at that and you look at that like a slight. Nah, it just they don't really care.
Yeah.
They haven't watched a video.
what I was
Right,
gonna
that
say.
part. Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I want to try to do when you bring up that, oh, they haven't watched the video? I want to try to lie. I just don't know if I'll be able to get away with it. Like if they say, oh, how's your YouTube channel? It's like, oh, it was cool. But, you know, Party had a nip slip. If you were watching live, you would have seen it. But they already took the video down. I'm like, oh, shit. Maybe I should start watching live.
Right.
They still won't.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's the thing. It's like they'll none like 95% of the people that watch my YouTube videos are not even subscribed.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So for me to expect my friends to actually pay attention to it and love it as much as I do, that's it doesn't make sense. It's far fetched. Like it's never gonna happen.
That's good that you look at it that way because that would hurt my feelings.
No,
but
because
you're right though. No,
like-
you're right. Yeah.
Okay, how many friends do you think you have? Like
Nah,
let's
like
just
4.
say let's just say you had 70 friends.
Okay.
You put up you post your makeup video and it has let's say 1,000 views. Your friends had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it's true.
You're-
No, it's
I'll
true.
give you another example right now that can apply. How there's 3 of your friends here right now. What's the percentage of us you think that have watched your
Last video.
last video, your was it K-pop or whatever, reviews or whatever, or your baby metal or whatever?
0.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we don't want him to do good.
Yeah.
No, I actually watched. No, I'm not just saying that. Like I got really.
Hello.
I actually did go down your channel and like watch a bunch of your videos because I wanted to just watch them. So I can't remember which one was the last one I watched, but I went and down the rabbit hole one time because I was like, "What does Queerage do?" Like just out of curiosity, and it was like, "Oh, this is actually pretty cool," you know. So
But again, I mean, again, it's like
to my defense,
I saw. I went down my list of the people that I subscribe to, right? And I saw a red dot by yours or whatever it is that says that there's a new video that I haven't watched. I was more mad that I didn't get the notification on
it's
that.
because you don't watch.
Is that why I'm not getting the notification?
Yeah,
That's some bullshit.
Well, the YouTube. Fuck, I don't want to go through all.
I was about to go through like all the ins and outs
YouTube
of it.
doesn't alert everybody all at once.
Some bullshit. Because it pisses me off because at least to get the views, I would click it and just listen to it in the background
Yeah.
and do something.
But
right?
again, that's just one view.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
and
know.
in my defense, I went through your channel and I only saw things I saw with your daughter or you're eating or something.
All the vlogs.
like the shit that I was
Yeah.
like that I actually would really
Yeah.
enjoy watching.
No. So like
In my defense.
No,
Yes.
look,
Agreed.
We
at
love
the
you.
end of the day, you're a content creator.
Yeah.
You're creating content for everybody else to see, right? You're creating content for the 10,000 people that are looking for that same kind of content. So for you to think that just because somebody said, like a close friend mentioned something about your channel, how, hey, yeah, it's still kind of small, huh? Like, okay, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter because they're not gonna watch it anyway. They're not gonna be a loyal fan.
That's true. But then when you blow up, all of a sudden, that was
Right.
my friend.
They're still not gonna be a loyal fan.
Yeah, but they're still gonna.
They're gonna be like, well, I went to school with that person. Like, well, so the fuck what?
Yeah.
Yep.
I want that to be my friend's flex. It's like, I know Vince. It's like, oh, cool.
I've used you as a flex.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Vince. I know Vince.
Yep.
Long beard Vince. Yeah.
That's the homie.
That's
Come
the
on.
homie.
Oh, the photographer. Yeah, that's
Yep.
my friend.
So there's a story. Like we were at the hookah lounge. You know which one?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and you were there too.
Okay.
And I was looking at my phone, and I was looking at my cousin's Instagram.
Ha! I know the story. Yeah.
And I was looking at my cousin's Instagram, and my cousin's like, she's been on like The Voice, American Idol.
Oh, okay.
I think she has like 135,000 followers on Instagram or something like that.
Wow.
And I saw one of the posts, and I'm
Right.
like, the guy in front of me, I was like, bro, you like this? What are you liking my cousin's post for? He's like, oh my God, I'm such a fan of hers. you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Shit was so funny.
So it's like, well, it's one of those where that reaction would never happen with me because she's my niece. You know what I mean? Or like if you had a channel that had like 200,000 subscribers and your video, I would like it, but I would never really look at it like a fanboy.
Yeah,
because you are
we
worth
have a
more than
relationship.
you are worth more than that social media presence.
That's the sweetest thing he's ever said to me. Am I worth more, Rich?
Edit that out, Rich.
You know what's funny too
Am
is
I
that
worth
like
more?
I have the opposite feeling
Oh no.
for us because it's like, yeah, if we put out like our videos, right? The ones that I'm on, I'll just play it just to get the watch time and the view. I really don't care. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I would have said this. Oh shit, I was in this episode. I did say this. Okay, cool.
Oh, the podcast.
Yeah, of the podcast. But I'll be honest with you, like I'll hella watch the ones that I'm not on because of FOMO. I'm about to comment on this shit.
Right. I'm gonna comment the shit out of this one like I was there.
So all the ones without Vince, if there's extra views, it's Vince watching.
I would comment on it too, but then like I've shown restraint where I'll wait till the end because I don't know what the conclusion is, but I keep on taking notes.
Yeah.
In the form of a comment box. Then when it gets to the end, I'm like, damn, I'm tripping. I'm gonna erase all of this.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
He's all ready to argue, and then he hears the end that it's okay. He's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Delete,
No, I
delete,
still want to
delete.
argue. I'm just like, damn it.
Yeah.
I'm not dumb enough to go viral.
You know, social media itself is just it's still a relatively new endeavor for a lot of people. And I think that at some point it's still not readily acceptable as a means to earn a living. It looks sometimes people look at it, they see the high profile stars, the Jake Pauls and
Right.
the Logan Pauls, and they're younger.
Right.
So a lot of times you do still get that like, oh, the TikTok boy.
Right. Right.
I'm
right.
like, I'm not a TikTok boy. I'm not 10 years old.
Right,
But, but that's what most people see.
That's what they imagine when you say you're a content creator. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Well, we're talking a lot about content creation, and obviously that's not only about the people that you keep, right? So what about like in normal everyday? Like, for example, in your day job, which we will not name, like how important is your company there? Or like Lonnie with your business, how important is the company that you keep there? And Vince, like in your studio. What about that?
I've had to drop people, drop a person in our company, only because of the fact of like okay. Let me. We've had to rearrange and reformat and rename our company because of the fact of that person put a sour like name whenever someone else brings it up, and it's because of that I will protect my company or my family's company, so it won't ever happen again.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
So to you, it is very valuable to have
for
that,
sure.
and even in that other business.
because I would hate to have not only the company look bad, but because I am one of the faces of the company, I
Right.
would never want that shit to go down that path again.
Makes sense. How about you, Rich?
I mean, it's pretty much the same. Sometimes you just, I don't know, like especially I guess with content creation. I look at this sometimes. I look at this podcast as our business model. You know, and that's why sometimes I get scared when Vince always says he wants to get canceled. Because once you get canceled, we all get canceled. You know what I mean. So, but I know you don't say shit that's cancelable enough.
Yeah.
You know. But sometimes I sit there and go, boy, I wonder if Vince understands that if he gets canceled, we kind of all get canceled.
Damn, we have to start over.
We have to start over.
But
Let's go with the webcam.
but as far as work, I mean, fortunately for me, I'm like I work by myself.
Okay.
You know, at the day job. The other job, there's a structure there,
Right.
so everybody has to kind of follow the leader.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of already at the top of that. If I fucking say pyramid, everybody's gonna think I fucking work for a pyramid scheme.
It's not, guys.
But you know, you work on top of that the chain of command.
Do you think it's important who your subordinates are then?
I think it's important for you to develop
Okay.
good subordinates. You know, there's I always say there's this book called Leaders Eat Last.
Very true.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's still you have to develop your subordinates, and so that they actually are almost like leading themselves within the unit, like small unit leadership, so to speak.
Can I change my answer?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, not like change my answer, but
You have more to say.
I have more to say from a different perspective of my 9 to 5.
Okay.
Okay, so like it's definitely important because I want to make sure that the morale of our team is up. So if one person fucks it up, then it's like you got to fix something or put that person out.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Because if it affects
that make sense?
everything.
Does
that connect? Okay.
100%.
100%.
Morale is key.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's man.
And if
Sometimes
one person's bringing that down, then that definitely makes a difference for sure. So yeah, that's
Like,
totally relevant.
This sounds really fucked up, and I probably should have been reported to HR. But it's just looking at me. I chose violence.
No, Wait, what do you do? Because I thought you worked at Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, because I got 31 flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about this later.
Okay. No, but okay. So why were you supposed to be reported to HR?
Because there's just one motherfucker that at work that just fucked up the morale, and it just whatever. So it's
So she took him out.
so no. I said, "Wow, you're really knowledgeable. Maybe you should be in a different department." And then you like looked at me, and I was like, "No, because you're fucking everybody up now." And he just. I should have been
That's
reported.
good advice.
No, but the way I kept on like in a way pushing him out, that's why I should have been reported to
You're
HR.
supposed to do that. No, we
he
should
goes home at night and
normalize
cries
bullying.
in his pillow.
Bullying needs to take place at school and in the workplace and in general public.
That's what's gonna get us
Yeah,
canceled.
No, there's so many pussies now. We should normalize bullying.
No, I mean, yeah.
I mean, tough love, maybe not
Yes.
bullying.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do a better words of choice.
We
Yeah, there is a better way to hate.
we could do another episode on bullying and the extreme bullying.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
Online bullying,
Yes.
cyber bullying.
No, actually, I don't want to go on a different
Totally.
tangent.
Yeah, let's not do that.
But there's there's a movie on Netflix called The Glory.
Yeah.
Every single bullying incident there happened in real life.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna watch it called The Glory.
The Glory.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we could talk about like the intense.
Okay, we're all gonna watch
bullying.
it, and
Okay.
we're all gonna
Is
talk
it
about
about
it.
Yeah.
holes in the bathroom?
Glory.
Glory.
Because I think I saw this and it wasn't on Netflix.
And Vince is like, I went and experienced a glory hole, and I kind of felt whiskers.
Oh no.
I was a stubble.
Okay, but anyways, yeah.
But no, like
The way we tangent all the time.
but no, like it's with a team like that. I've actually had to pull my leaders aside,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, hey, do you want to be a leader here? And then they go, what do you mean? I'm like, because of this, and this. It's all. It's kind of like constructive criticism.
Yeah.
I would never kind of be like, because you're fucking up. Well,
Yeah.
well,
I didn't say fucking up,
Well,
but-
But you did. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, I have said because you're fucking up.
Yeah.
But I would always give an example of why.
You had something to back it up.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, you know, you can't be doing this because there's other people under you that think they can get away with it.
Yeah.
You know, certain.
You're so nice. I just stopped fucking inviting them to shed and include them in conversations. I just act like they weren't there.
Again, it's part of it's you're trying to boost morale, right? But when you
HR does not know to know about
but when you start segregating people, your other people are paying attention to that, so that doesn't improve morale at all.
I know. That's why I
Because
should have been.
because they know they know they can be next.
Right, true. But that's what you want. You want them to be scared. No, I'm
No.
just kidding. Just kidding.
I wish.
But imagine the morale that you're developing with all of the other people that are ganging up on this
Exactly.
individual as well.
Exactly.
That is
And
not
we're gonna
bullying.
cut them.
For some reason, I'm
No.
on Vince's side on this shit.
See?
And that usually never happens.
Lonnie's like,
side-eye.
leaders eat last, but not you.
Right.
you eat last.
No, I'm still nice. Like, yo, did you eat? No? All right. You got to wait.
That's funny.
Maybe because I have been in a position where I found it enjoyable to like fire people.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
I'm off your team now.
The switch
No,
up.
it's really fun to do that. You know, like sometimes they're like, oh, you know what? Don't worry about it. The company's paying for this dinner. Order whatever you want. Do you like that? It's your last one from us.
Wow. Wow.
I'm going to keep that noted.
Yeah.
I unfortunately in my other job I can't fire people. I can fire people from their positions.
Okay.
I can never fire them from the job
Itself, yeah.
because they signed a contract.
Right.
And so you have to be. I can't find enjoyment in it because, or I can't fuck around with it because they're still working. You know,
Right. You still have to be around them. Yeah.
yeah. You're kind of fired from your job, but keep the desk.
Right.
You know, next to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That part.
I'd make your life live in hell. That's funny.
So, in conclusion,
don't fuck with us.
no, just damn. Lonnie, she got scary after she got pregnant. I'm just kidding.
She's like, you can't sit with us.
So, in conclusion, the company you keep is important
Yes.
Yeah,
and it's relevant, but you are still your own person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
See, I listened.
I mean, the company, like, you know, again, the company you keep is just the company you keep.
Okay, so here we'll close with this because we always do this at the end. Since we talked about that, a lot of this has to do with growth and coming with age. You know, what would you tell a young person? You know, what kind of advice would you give them about the company they keep as they go throughout their stages of life?
The weak ones will just roll out itself.
Survival of the fittest. I see.
Yeah.
Science.
I mean, honestly
Just
though,
kidding.
like the people who really matter and the people who really support you and whatever is gonna stick around, and the people
Yeah.
that are not, they're just gonna fade. To be honest,
that's actually really good. Just don't even sweat it because what's gonna
Yeah.
happen is gonna happen. That's true. Queer Rich.
Yeah. Just don't you don't have to worry about anybody that doesn't worry about you. You know, don't give a fuck about somebody that doesn't give a fuck. And at the end of the day,
True.
you do you. And if your friends are there at the end, your friends are there at the end. If they're not, there's a reason, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you excommunicate them either.
Can be amicable.
Well, it could just be situational too.
True.
You know, they have their own thing. You know, I became a content creator. My friend became a professional football player, a musician, whatever. You guys are all on different roads.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then you guys come together and share life experiences.
that, and don't care about someone's opinion if you don't want their lifestyle.
Oh, that's true. Like, don't be taking a relationship advice from someone that's got a fucked up relationship. That's true.
Oh wait, sometimes those guys know more.
That's true.
But I mean, like, in the fact of if they're bringing you down,
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
why care about their opinions?
yeah,
That's true.
for sure.
Vince? What kind of advice would you give yourself?
Come on, ready for this mic drop.
No, there was a well. I mean, like what Rich was talking about reminded me of what Promise said a long time ago when she was on the podcast. It was those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.
That was a good line. Shout out to Promise.
That and
Scylla.
pee on everybody in that group and establish dominance early.
When you
You
said
should be
oh my
alpha everywhere you go.
Wow. There you
Establish
go.
dominance.
Just kick him in the nuts.
Yep.
Oh my
See
God.
which one cries the least.
Yep.
I've been watching R. Kelly's documentary too much, and as soon as you said pee on everybody, that's the first thing
I saw that shit on Netflix. It's in part 3.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Is it that many parts?
I didn't know that either.
Fuck that.
We'll talk about it later.
I'm not watching.
All
that.
I watched was the Dave Chappelle piss on you video.
That's about as far as I got with
That's
that too.
the best interpretation of it.
Huh?
It's a lot of repetitive stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
man, I'm pretty sure.
Anyways.
I'm pretty sure they're trying to milk it.
Anyways, go ahead.
What was the question again? I asked it and I forgot it.
What would you tell your younger self?
Ooh, look at you two.
Damn, that wasn't even
Quick.
the question.
Say something at the same time. Ready?
Hi.
Hi. See? We're so
Oh
good.
my god.
I
Okay,
came back
what
on
should I
fire.
tell? Yeah, you did.
I'm just kidding.
You're
Go
killing
ahead.
it. No, like for reals you are. Okay.
You are.
What would I tell my younger self? Basically stop giving a fuck so much about what everyone around you thinks. Like, I'm just echoing what everybody else says because at the end of the day, if you're yourself, the people that are still there at the end of the day, those are the ones that truly love you for who you are and not for what you can provide them or what you're giving to them, but they're really there because they enjoy you, they love you, they're supporting you, and just, do you. And the right people will fall into place, basically.
Cliche, but so
And some medication will make your pookie smell.
Yeah, boric acid, guys. Sponsor us.
We're still on that. Please.
I use lots of bottles of that. That's why I'm so good. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, are we good? Are we good?
yeah.
Yeah, you made it really weird. Why'd you do that, quick?
No, because you don't like poop. But anyways,
I
okay.
know.
Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in on
are
this
we talking
episode. Shout out to Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey.
Mikey's meals.
Mikey's
This
meal.
sounds to Mikey, some random dude. Shout out to Mikey.
Don't do hand movements like that. Vince gets mad.
I'm
should
a
all do it.
YouTuber.
Shout out to
right.
Mikey's Meals. Make sure to hit up our code right here below.
Right here, down below.
Right here. What's
Oh no.
Are you doing the shout out? Okay. But yeah, hit up Mikey at mikeysmeals.com.
Should learn the Naruto shit so I can.
Use our code TheBabes10.
To save 10% off your next
Yes.
order.
And if you're on the dark web, you can also use the code TheBabes10 to save up to 10% off on your deliveries, as long as it's cross-continental.
Yes. And if you are looking for a studio for any photography needs, podcast needs, lots of different needs, hit up Vince's studio, the Pixel Lounge SD.
SD.
The I forgot the name of the studio.
I was gonna say I was like wanting to give him credit on this one.
Yeah, the link that Rich is gonna put in the description.
I said
box
it the
below.
same time she
I
did.
will
Shut the
not.
fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I was trying to save you,
Make
and then
sure
you kept
hit
talking.
That subscribe button, smash that like button, and
I
don't
love you.
give
You
us
have
a-
my back even when I don't need it. I
Yeah.
love her so hard. See?
Okay,
double
guys.
click the thumbs down video.
No,
thing.
don't do
don't
that.
do
Don't
that.
do
Don't
that.
do that.
Double
All
click
thumbs
it.
up.
Yeah, if you double click it, you unclick. Oh, anyway.
But then we want the
He's
thumbs
so
up.
technical. Anyways.
I know.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys on the next episode.
Bye.
Apparently, I don't say shit.
Choose violence.
Choose.